Okay folks, welcome to another edition of 4 visa questions in 5 minutes. Let's get cracking. Okay, question 1. I have a Masters in Mechanical Engineering. Can I obtain the extra STEM education points in November 2019? Okay, so on the 16th of November 2019 there's going to be a couple of big changes to the points test. We've already talked about the partner points. This is about the specialist education points. So the government clearly want to encourage people to study in areas where they see future growth in employment, future benefits to the Australian economy. So at the moment they give 5 points for people who meet this criteria, and they're thinking of, or they are going to increase that to 10 points from the 16th of November onwards. So the criteria to get that is you must have done a postgraduate degree by research, really important word, as a doctorate or a master's student. It must be awarded by an Australian educational institution, and it must have completed 2 years of full-time study in one of the fields they're trying to attract. So science, technology, engineering, mathematics, or some of the ICT fields. So that's the key for getting those 10 points. We see a lot of people asking about, will they get those points with having done a master's in one of those fields? It must be a master's by research if it's a master's course. So the first step in order to try and work out if you get those points certainly needs to be master's PhD by research, needs to be 2 years at an Australian institution. In order to find out if you're in the right field, you need to find your CRICOS code, and then you can go to the CRICOS website and see if it's in one of those approved fields. So I'm going to put up a link shortly in the notes in the YouTube video, and you can then go to that link and you can check yourself to see if you're going to get those 10 points. Okay, question 2. I'm living in Sydney. I have a skills assessment as a chef. Can I apply for Orana to sponsor me for the 489 visa? Wow, where to start? Look, Orana, good on them for being the first region in New South Wales to reopen for the 489 application process. Unfortunately, that means they've been inundated with applications, and clearly they're having to sort of change their policy as they go along. So initially it looks like they've got a points test there. You get more points, their own points test, more points if you have, if you work in Orana, if you live in Orana, and they're going to give priority to those people. At the same time, they don't want to make it impossible for people outside Orana to meet the criteria as well. So they've opened up for applications. They charge $300 per application, and the idea was to give everyone 2 weeks to apply, and they were then just going to invite, I guess, the cream of those people, the people with the most points, with preference for people who are in Orana at the moment. But what's happened with so many applications, they had sort of opened and closed within a few days, and now they're saying, look, we're closed till the 1st of August. So clearly they've got so many applications. They don't want people wasting $300 when really they're not going to be in front of those candidates they've already got. And so they're saying, unless you are an exceptional candidate, don't bother applying now until the 1st of August. And exceptional really means you have to be in Orana and you have to have a job offer related to what your occupation is. In the meantime, don't worry about applying. Maybe wait till the 1st of August when it reopens, and then they'll look at some more candidates. In terms of the a job related to your occupation, it doesn't have to be exactly in your job. So an accountant, for example, can have a job as a bookkeeper in Orana, and in your case there as a chef, you can have likely a job offer as a cook. That's very closely related. The other thing is, of course, is that people's circumstances might change after they've lodged their actual application with Orana. So they have said that if you find that you are in a better position before we make a decision, then you can update your questionnaire. So if you're living in Sydney now, but you move to Orana next week, you've lodged an application, and all of a sudden you want to claim more points, because you do get more points if you are now living in Orana and started a job almost of any kind, you'll get more points, then you can update your questionnaire and save having to lodge another $300. The other thing, the final thing there is, I think they'll probably only have one more round of the 489. That will probably be the early August round, because with the department closing that visa on the 16th of November, the 489 visa, that means for people to get a full 60 days to accept their invite, invites have to be sent out by mid-September. And so it's hard to see Orana accepting an application for a 489 in September, processing it all, giving you an approval, getting immigration to invite you, all within just a couple of week period. So I think likely August will be the last round for 489s. Don't despair, I'm sure that other regions will open up, and more importantly, this probably will be the 491 criteria for most of the regions from November as well. Okay, question 3. Will WA look at changing their selection criteria for state sponsorship? Okay, they better, alright? So WA have only sponsored around 300 people in the last program year. Their target was 2,000. The reason they only got 300 is they have two things missing from their state migration plan. One is the job offer is too difficult to obtain, and the second thing is they don't have any trade occupations on their state list. So we've had a lot of discussions with the state government, we've been putting a lot of pressure in the media, but we're trying to come to, or get them to come to the realisation they need to make changes. Their target is 2,500 for this program year. They aren't going to get near that with their current criteria. We think they understand very clearly what needs to change in order to make more people meeting their criteria, more quality people meeting their criteria, and by extension that will mean more people will choose to study in WA. So there's a very good chance that they will add occupations to that list. We certainly know they're looking at some diploma occupations, some sort of engineering draftsperson type occupations, but more importantly they need to add trades, and they've got to change that 1 year job offer. Maybe make it just related to the occupation, or maybe not even related at all. Maybe come up with some easier criteria in terms of a point score. But watch this space. We believe the Premier is looking at it at the moment, and we think that there'll be some good news around the corner. Okay, question 4. Will the department invite more than 100 people for the 189 selection round for July? Okay, again, yes, hopefully they do. Look, the department wants to grant just over 18,000 189s for the new program year. They've probably got about that many already as a backlog. So in theory, they wouldn't have to invite anyone, but I'm sure they're going to invite a similar amount to what they're going to grant. So they've got the same sort of, I guess, backlog of cases to manage their program with. On that basis, if you take around 18,000 invitations, you accept that on average there's 2 applications or 2 applicants per application, brings it down to around 9,000. By the time you've taken off some New Zealand applicants, allowed for the wastage, like the double invites, the people who don't accept invites, we've come to a figure of 1,110 invitations each month on average over the whole year. So a little bit around 12 or 13,000 for the whole year. Now, yeah, look, in the past, the department haven't always invited the same amount every month, and they typically do invite more people in July, August, September than they do in April, May and June. So there's a very good chance that even though we've said around 1,100 per month, it could well be a lot more than that early on, and that's going to be a big bonus for those people who otherwise probably wouldn't get an invite, because there'll be so many good quality applicants later on that will jump in front of them. So fingers crossed, hopefully it's nearer to a couple of thousand, but we'll know a lot more, I think it's around next Thursday. And as soon as we do, we'll put up all the results, all our estimates, and a lot of good information for you. Okay folks, that's it. If you want us to manage your visa application, or you have some questions that are bugging you, drop us an email to migration@iscah.com. And if you really want to keep up to date with all your regional visa options, your 189 waiting times, and where the new visa categories are going, you have to subscribe to our monthly report, especially designed for you, your occupation and your point score. So you can just go to this web address, which we'll put up shortly, and hope you enjoy it. Okay, it's pouring here. I'm going back in front of my fire to watch some Wimbledon tennis, Kyrgios versus Nadal. So it's going to be an awesome game tonight. I hope you have a good night. Cheers.